The Cleveland Browns head to the East Coast this week, off to New England to take on a Patriots team on a 3-game win streak, and they'll need their run defense to step up in this one, which, lucky for them, did that last week.
They did a really good job shutting down the run.
And has been doing so all year for the most part.
This is where New England has been so good this season.
They don't have a face to their front, so to speak. It's a collaborative effort, whereas the Browns' rushing attack definitely has a face to it.
For Chubb. Chubb's inside the 20.
Nick Chubb seems all healed up, and that makes him the centerpiece of Cleveland's offense once again.
To him on 2nd and 10, and he breaks a big one. He might take it all the way.
And as has been detailed before, Chubb's effectiveness always seems to make Baker Mayfield play better, as does the absence of a certain wide receiver.
And it's a great job of scanning the field, staying in there, and using his arm.
How does a rating over 130 sound? Yards per attempt over 10, 2 TDs, no picks, and Game 1 post-OBJ.
Look at Baker going long. Peoples-Jones with the touchdown.
Forget trying to take a certain receiver away from him. When he plays like he did last week, everyone is an option. He connected with 8 different receivers. None finished with more than 3 receptions.
To the end zone, it's caught by Njoku for the touchdown.
Now, though, Baker's boys have to try and move the ball against one of the toughest pass defenses in the NFL.
Look at Jackson in the slot. You can't play that any better.
I know they were playing the kid from Sixth Sense last week. Still, 3 picks, no TDs allowed is the kind of day where you don't have to use your AK.
This has just become a comedy of errors.
And they have played the pass that well all year for the most part, so we're not talking about a Chumbawamba performance.
If Darnold's trying to make something happen, he's just going to walk in the end zone. Not even Robbie Anderson can catch him.
New England doesn't apply a lot of pressure on QBs as a team, but Matthew Judon does as an individual. He picked up his 9th sack last week.
Judon has been an absolute terror.
And he has a chance to add to his total against the Browns. They're allowing around 2.5 sacks per game, giving up 2 last week.
Here's Baker in trouble. There's the first sack for the Cincinnati defense.
But the Patriots O-line has an even bigger task on its hands with the Browns' pass rush, which ranks top 10 in sacks, QB hits, and pressure rate.
First down 10, they go to blitz and get to Burrow.
And the Patriots will have to keep their eyes on DB Troy Hill blitzing.
Watch out, because there is Troy Hill.
But obviously they have to pay even more attention to the NFL's sack leader, Myles Garrett, last week, adding another 1.5 sacks to his total.
Watch how wide Myles Garrett is, and Williams had no chance.
The Patriots O-line has provided Mac Jones with solid protection, less than 2 sacks per game allowed.
And he's able to drill it. Beautiful passing window, and he just drills it in there for a touchdown.
But Isaiah Wynn, who Garrett will line up in front of a lot, has allowed 4 sacks this season, 7th most among tackles.
Maybe Isaiah Wynn thought he had a little bit more time than he actually did, but he can't get back in time.
If he can't hold Garrett at bay, it could make for a long day for Mr. Mac and Cheese, who has been playing more like a knockoff brand lately instead of Kraft's. Pun intended.
And if it wasn't for that batted pass, I think the Patriots would have had a pretty big play right there.
Jones only mustered 139 yards against the Panthers, threw a TD, but was picked. That's back-to-back games with a sub-90 rating.
Intercepted in the middle of the field. That is Gilmore.
But he's had 5+ 100 rating games and is averaging over 240 yards per game, so he's been plenty adequate, especially considering he's in year 1.
What a terrific play.
Like Baker, he doesn't really have a go-to, and like the Patriots, the Browns' defense has also been tough to complete passes on.
Quickly up in the air and it's stolen. Again, another interception is Johnson this time.
They picked off Joe Burrow twice last week. One taken to the house, didn't allow any TDs.
How about that turn of events?
That showing just boosted their already impressive numbers against passing attacks up another few rungs on the ladder.
Ball comes out. Was it ever caught? They're ruling it incomplete.
Instead of Alice Cooper, I want the next commercial Baker makes to include Bill Belichick. Like maybe he throws a football into his backyard and has to go knock on the door to get it. What would Bill tell him? Include your best line with your predictions in the comments section. Here are our prognostications. Like his backyard would look like Mr. Myrtle's, but I don't want Bill to end up being nice about it.